Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Crystal Fry, empowerment coach and speaker, and I want to welcome you all into tonight's show. We are talking about applying the golden rule to you. So as you come in, please say hello so that I can say hello back to you. Tim, my good friend, it is so good to see you again here tonight with us. Thank you for watching live and being here with us every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, as you are coming in, say hello so that I can say hello back to you, whether you are watching over on YouTube or you are watching right here on Facebook. Say hello and make sure that you use the comments down below the video to interact with me tonight. Because tonight we are talking about applying the golden rule to you. So the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Seems pretty simple, right? Treat other people the way you want to be treated. You guys, this is something that is found in really, if you throw a stone into any corner of the earth, you will likely find this concept in every religion, every culture. There's some form of this concept of treating other people the way that you want to be treated. It's kind of like the law of reciprocity, right? Do good to people, people will do good back to you. With that, and I think that we understand that concept, but I think sometimes we struggle with taking that and turning it in on ourselves. And are we applying the golden rule to ourselves? Well, how do you do that? Okay, so are we treating ourselves the way that we want to be treated? Think about that. When you talk to yourself, your self-talk, right? What you say inside your head, what happens in between your ears. When you talk to yourself, is it encouraging? Is it empowering? Or is it negative? Is it beating you down? Is it telling you why you can't do something? Is it asking you if you're crazy for trying to take a risk on something, to do something different, to do something new? What is it that you're saying to yourself? Are you speaking to yourself the way that you would speak to a friend? The way that you would speak to a loved one? Are you saying the words to yourself that you would say to someone else? I know I wasn't. And so that's kind of, so again, you guys know every time I come on here live or whether I'm producing, pre-recorded videos or anything else, all of my topics, I'm talking to you from a place in my heart. I'm talking to you from my own personal experience and the things that I have encountered and experienced in my life. And for a very long time, what I said to myself, my self-talk was not fit for public consumption. My self-talk was not even fit for human consumption. I said things to myself that I would never say to another human being. It was that bad. Like, I'm actually a little embarrassed now about how bad it was. Are you treating yourself from the standpoint of your habits, your daily habits? Are you eating right? Are you exercising? Are you doing the things that you should be doing? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you treating your body, your mind, the way that you would treat another human being? For any of my folks out there who have kids or who have taken care of children or who have nieces and nephews or anything like that, maybe you've been a babysitter, whatever, are you treating yourself the way that you would treat a child? From the standpoint of like those healthy habits, like you're not going to, okay, let's be real here. You're not going to take a 4-year-old outside and give them a pack of cigarettes and tell them to smoke away, right? Because that's not good for them. Well, it's not good for us either, right? As adults, we do a lot of things as adults that we would not allow children to do. Because sometimes we think that's okay because we're adults and it's okay. But again, taking this whole concept of the golden rule of treating yourself the way that you want to be treated, are your habits getting in the way of that? Are your limiting beliefs getting in the way of that? If you are a person who encourages other people, who supports other people, who tells them, yes, you should go after that. Yes, you should chase your dreams. That is absolutely fabulous. Let me ask you this, my friends. Are you telling yourself the same thing? Are you encouraging yourself? Are you telling yourself, yeah, take that risk, take the chance, bet on you? And drop down in the comments if this is resonating with you. What are your thoughts about this? Are you a person who is practicing the golden rule with yourself? Or are you like me sometimes and a lot of the rest of us who maybe could do a better job with it? Maybe it's because we're not really aware. Maybe it's because, absolutely, Tim, sometimes we talk more to others and not enough to ourselves. You're exactly right. How many of you are comfortable spending time with yourself, right? Spending alone time, spending quiet time. Listen, I know people, and again, I was one of them. I couldn't be by myself because I didn't want to, I didn't want to be stuck with the thoughts inside my head. I needed to be distracted. I needed to be helping someone. I needed to be doing good for other people because I couldn't stand to be alone with the thoughts inside my head. And maybe you know how that feels. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Maybe that resonates with you. Maybe you don't realize that's what you're doing. Now, at this place where I am in my life now, I actually really relish my alone time, my quiet time where I am intentionally alone with my thoughts. Because now, the stage that I'm at in my life now and where I am personally and how I have grown and healed past all of that stuff in a few years ago, like the stuff that's back there in the rearview mirror, now that I'm in this place, being alone with my thoughts is a wonderful, glorious thing because I've cleared out all the garbage, right? And yes, sometimes the garbage tries to sneak back in, but thankfully, I've learned tools to keep it at bay or push it to the side. So, I am now at a place where I really enjoy my alone time. It's where my ideas come. It's where my content comes. It's where my ability to help other people and find different ways to get them through the issues that they are dealing with, because it's something that I've experienced too. So when you're thinking about applying the golden rule to yourself, and for those of my friends who are joining live, go ahead and say hello when you come in so I can say hello back to you. If you are watching in the replay, go ahead and use the hashtag replay and let me know where you're watching from. Because as we're talking about applying this golden rule to ourselves, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When you turn that inward, I want you to really take time to consider whether or not you are treating yourself the way that you want to be treated. I see this a lot in relationship issues. Well, my husband, my wife, my spouse, my partner, whoever it is, they don't treat me the way I want them to treat me. And a lot of times what happens, and this happens outside of relationships too, but this is just a good example. A lot of times what happens is we then turn that into, well, I'm going to treat you the way you're treating me. You don't want to listen to me? You don't want to have good conversation with me? Then I don't want to talk to you either. That's not the golden rule. The golden rule is do unto others. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Not treat others the way they treat you, right? Because you don't control how the other person treats you. You don't control that. What you control is how you treat the other person. So this is the same thing here. As we're talking about applying this inward and applying this to ourselves, you don't control how other people treat you. But what you control is how you treat you. So how are you treating you? Are you treating yourself the way that you want to be treated? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care? Exactly, Tim. Two wrongs don't make a right. So if, for instance, my husband comes home from work and he's had a bad day and he's grouchy, and maybe he gets a little snippy with me because maybe I haven't talked to him and I don't know that he's had a bad day, right? And I just kind of like accost him when he gets to the door and I'm like, well, you need to take out the trash and you need to do this and blah, blah, and do kind of like that naggy thing, which we're all guilty of from time to time. And then he snaps at me because he's had a bad day. And then I take that and say, oh, well, if that's how you're going to be about it, right? I'm just not going to talk to you for the rest of the day. Or I snap back. That doesn't help the situation. Instead, if he snaps at me, that's my cue to say, let me ask what's going on. Let me be curious enough about this situation to ask what's going on. Hey, babe, did you have a bad day? Because you just kind of snapped at me and I don't really appreciate that. So let me take a step back and ask, did you have a bad day? Is there something going on? Is there something I can do to make it better? Right? Because that's how I would want to be treated. If I get snippy, it's usually because there's something going on in my own little world and I'm not really paying attention to the rest of it. And so that usually causes us to be a little not so nice with our words sometimes. But I would want someone to say, hey, one, call me out on it. Like, hey, but do it with love. Hey, is there something going on? And so even that, you can apply that into yourself. If you are hearing in your mind those negative words that, oh my gosh, where we just beat ourselves down over something. Oh my God, Crystal, you didn't get your to-do list done again today. I guess you're just lazy. I guess you just don't want this to work. Y'all, that is a real thing. And if you sit here and tell me that you never have negative thoughts in your mind, I want to know your secret because I'm yet to experience it. And that is what I do. You guys, that's what I do for a living. I'm an empowerment coach. I empower women to get past the stuff that's holding them back so that they can live a life as the full expression of themselves. You don't think there's negative thoughts and limiting belief wrapped up in all of that mess? Oh, best believe. So here is the thing, like maybe it's time for you to spend some quality time with yourself and evaluate how you are treating you. Maybe it's time to start practicing kindness and love and acceptance and forgiveness with ourselves. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you spend more time with you than you will anyone else. The whole rest of your life, you never get to get away from you. You're stuck with yourself. I know that can be absolutely daunting, or that can be the most fabulous thing in the entire world. You get to choose. You get to decide. The choice is literally yours. So maybe it's time, while we are thinking about and wanting to, try to practice kindness and love and gentleness and acceptance and forgiveness with other people, as we're trying to make this world a better place, as we're trying to really hone in on and practice that golden rule with other people, my friends, it's so much easier to do that with others when you have learned how to do it with yourself. So that's what I want to encourage you to do tonight. I want to encourage you. And again, whether you are watching me live right now or whether you are watching this in the replay, if this pops up in your feed somewhere, watch it, because I believe that if you're watching it, you're meant to be watching this. You're meant to hear the message that I'm giving right now. Maybe you're in that place where you have just realized that you have been your massively own worst critic, and you have been tearing yourself down for years. Now is the time for you to turn the page. Now is the time for you to start practicing kindness with yourself, for you to start practicing forgiveness with yourself, and to start loving yourself. Because let me tell you this, when you learn how to do this with yourself, it will pour out of you to others without even having to try, because it's going to emanate from within you. You're not going to have to be a fake person. You're not going to have to just, put on a good face. You're not going to have to do it because you should, even though you don't really want to. You will be doing it from a place, it will pour out of you. Yes, Tim. I'm guilty of that too sometimes, not listening to myself when I talk to me. And that is a whole thing too. Sometimes it's good not to listen to ourselves when we're in that like negative place and we're telling ourselves that, we're not good enough and all of those crazy things that we say. Sometimes, don't listen to that. But when you're trying to grow, when you're trying to get better, when you're trying to push yourself forward, sit down and look at what are your strengths. Start with your strengths. Start with what you're good at. Start with the qualities that are admirable. And then move on to things that you can work to improve. Okay? So I'm going to wrap us up with just a reminder here tonight that as we are, and again, the golden rule, like when this came to mind, my brain went, oh, good Lord, everybody knows the golden rule. Now, that's not necessarily true. For some people, this may be the first time you've ever heard of it. And that's perfectly fine. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different experiences. We all have exposure to different things in life. But that golden rule concept is one that is literally around the world. You can find it everywhere in some way, shape, or form. This universal thought of treating other people the way that we want to be treated. So tonight, I invite you to look at yourself and ask if you are treating yourself the way that you want to be treated. And if the answer is no, my friends, you're not alone, okay? But if the answer is no, then I'm going to invite you to start taking some steps forward to move in that direction. It's not going to happen overnight. Nothing ever does. But I'm going to invite you to start taking steps to move forward in that direction. And if you need help with that, okay? I needed help with that. Oh, I needed a lot of help with that. I couldn't do it by myself. Why? Because I was here in my head. I needed accountability. I needed support. I needed someone to help me through that. If that's what you need tonight, right here on the screen, this is the link to my calendar. You can hop on a 30-minute phone call with me. It doesn't cost you a dime. It costs you 30 minutes of your time. That is it. It is an incredible conversation and an opportunity for us to get to know each other better. And it allows me to be able to see if there is anything that I can offer you to help. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But if you feel compelled to have this conversation, do it. Don't let it pass you by. Again, like I said, if you're watching this tonight, I believe that you were meant to see this message. So if you are, wanting to have this conversation, just do it. Jump on a call. Doesn't cost you anything. I'm a great person to talk to, right? You guys tune in every Friday night to watch me, so I must be a great person to at least listen to. But it's an opportunity for me to listen to you. So there is the link there. Again, I want to really invite you to sit down with yourself to evaluate whether or not you are treating you the way that you want to be treated. And if you're not, let's do something about it. So I'm going to close with that. And thank you all again so much for being here with me on this Friday night. We are live here every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, both on YouTube and over on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor. Consider subscribing. That's the link. Consider subscribing. I think it's probably up here somewhere. And turn the notification bell on so that you never miss when we go live or when new videos are posted. And with that, I hope that you all have a fabulously great weekend. And I will see you all again real soon. Take care.